Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to start doing some story times because I have a lot of stories. Some funny, some serious. This is a serious one. I went to Twitter and I asked what kind of story did you want to hear, and this had the most votes. So I am here to tell the story of how I was in a abusive relationship for 3 years. Was it 3 years? Yeah, it was just like under 3 years. It was pretty much 3 years. I'll try to keep it light and funny, but I don't know how light and funny I can keep this story because obviously it is pretty serious. So we'll see how it goes. The type of relationship, what I mean by abusive relationship, is it was physically, emotionally and mentally abuse. But luckily I wasn't ever had to go to hospital. It wasn't that serious physical. There was physicalness, but luckily I was never had to go to hospital, and neither did he. I want to make it clear this was a two-way thing. It was not a one-way thing. We were both in the wrong. We were both bad for each other. It was just a negative, just vicious, vile relationship that shouldn't have gone on for so long, and we were both doing it to each other. So I just want to make it clear I am not fully blaming him at all. It was also me as well. Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably say how old I was. This all happened between I just turned 17 to 20. So this all happened then. The first month, it was really good. I was really happy. And I assumed he was as well. We just got on and kind of just clicked really quickly. Okay, before I was a really bad person when it came to relationships, and I kind of didn't want to be that person anymore, and I met this guy and I thought, oh, I'll start fresh. I want to be serious. I want a serious relationship. I don't want to be playing around anymore, that kind of thing. This is basically a karma story. This is how karma kicks you in the butt. Well, the first few months we all got on with his friends. We all went out, my friends and his friends all went out and stuff like that, and it was really good. Then after 3 months, okay, this was the warning sign. After 3 months, and bitch, did you listen? No. The God was telling Jasmine, get out. But did I listen? No, of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. So after 3 months, I noticed that he was talking to his ex, kind of bitching about me, really. I later found out that they had met. They didn't do anything, apparently. I don't think they did anyway. I also found out that him and a member of my family was kind of, well, he was interested in her. She wasn't, I wouldn't really say really flirty. She was flirty in the sense of like sending like loads of kisses and hearts back, but I was more pissed off because she didn't tell me. Like, this is my boyfriend and she knows that we're together and she didn't tell me, but it's all in the past now. I forgive her, whatever. I didn't speak to her for about a million years because of it, but it's fine now, we're okay. But that was after 3 months, and I found out also because we had a massive argument about it, right? And then he texted me, but was meant for her, saying, oh, please let me know if there was ever a chance for us to be together, blah blah blah. I'm like, bitch, what? And I had the person's name in it, so I knew it wasn't for me. So I was like, this guy's stupid. He's just left my house saying sorry, and now he's messaging her. Okay, cool. But did I take the hint? Did I think, bitch, you are worth more than this? No. No. I stayed on. I stayed on. Yeah, I'm such an idiot. I had warning signs from then. Anyway, I got fuming at them. Fuming. And I stayed with him, but I fell out with her. I know it's stupid because you should never blame the girl because it's the boy's fault, blah blah blah. But in this case it was different because it was family. We were okay. After that it was actually really good. I thought we were okay. That went on for a few months, almost a year I would say. And then it started to go bad again. He was a smoker in the sense that he did smoke weed and he also did other drugs. He didn't start doing the other drugs until quite later, and that's when I definitely noticed a lot of difference in him. It was more abusive in the sense it started off with name calling, kind of like, I don't know, accusing and stuff like that. And like if I went out, he would start accusing me of stuff like, oh, I bet you're off getting with another guy and stuff like this, and oh, you're probably off sleeping with someone. And I stopped going out because of it. I didn't want to go out just so that I didn't cause an argument, so he couldn't accuse me of stuff. And then it started to go in the sense of like, he never hit me yet, but it was more pinning down. I was aggressive as well. I was very abusive back. I don't know, kind of, I guess, warning signs then as well. I then remember I don't know what happened. He was very, I don't know if this was before or after her. I can't remember. But he was very in the sense of mind games. Like he would then say to me, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm so depressed. Take pictures of like a bunch of tablets and saying, oh, I'm going to take a bunch of these. And then he would like disappear. He wouldn't message me throughout the whole night, and then I would like be panicking obviously and worried and stuff, and then it turns out like he's fine obviously. But he would do that a lot. Like he would just, and now that I think about the times he was ignoring me, he was probably off with other people. But at the time I wasn't thinking that. Yeah, it was, so I used to get those kind of mind games. And then I remember one time he was ignoring and I was asking, do you want to come round and stuff and all of this. And then I called him, I kept calling him, should have got him, but I kept calling him. And then our girl answered. And I was like, what the hell, sort of thing. Obviously I broke down in tears. I went round to his house. His dad was, said that they're not here, blah, 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 what. Cool, whatever. He was then seeing someone else, was texting and using me as well, but I was a fool because I didn't want to lose him. I don't know why, I was just stuck in this thing, but I just didn't want to lose him. Love is blind, love is blind. And so I was letting him just so that I could see him. I don't know, I can't remember if she got fed up or if he then decided to leave her or something, but then we got back together like properly. Obviously things weren't the same after that. My insecurities went way over the roof. I did not trust whatsoever. I would go for his phone a lot. I then later found out that the same person, he named her under a different name, like a guy's name, but I later found out that, yeah, he was messaging her still. It started to get a lot more, I can't remember the first time he hit me. I can't remember when it did, but he did. Back then, when it first happened, I was abusive back in the sense that I would fight back. We were fighting each other, physical fights. Like I said, I never went to hospital, but the kind of marks that I got was busted lips a lot of time. He started to learn not to hit me in the face. I also had a black eye and stuff, but he started to learn, like if I ever had a mark on my face, then I would like stay at his like the whole weekend or whatever till it went, so no one would know. But then he started to learn, and like he would only hit me like in my leg and arms and stuff, and I would just have bruises like around my body that I could easily hide. I was working as well and going to college at this time, and sometimes he would just turn up outside. Like if we had an argument, he would like turn outside my work and say leave, or at college and say I'm waiting outside, blah blah blah. So I would like have to go with him and stuff like that. Like I said, I was abusive back, fighting back and stuff like that. We were playing each other basically. It was really stupid, but we were literally playing each other. I started seeing other people as well. I remember when I had that was a big fight because it happened in front of my sister. I was seeing this guy at the same time. He was obviously not happy about that, and he didn't like the fact I don't like that I was seeing him, and I was like, go away, blah blah blah. I remember he came to my house with his friend who drove, and we had, to be fair, I don't think the plaque, I don't know, like we were fighting. I was telling him to go away. We were fighting, I think over the phone, because I wanted to call the police. Police got involved, by the way, multiple times. I was just an idiot to just not listen. if that makes sense. Like, this time we had a massive fight. We were fighting over the phone. We were, like, obviously, when you're fighting over the phone of someone and you're like swinging around, and I like smashed my head off of this like cabinet that we have in the hallway, and then I had like this black eye, and then he like dragged me into the car, and his friend did nothing. Saw it was happening, and he did nothing. And I remember we were yelling in the car, and I like, to be fair, I could have killed us, but like his friend was driving, and I like reached over and I like twisted the wheel to stop, but he didn't, and then I remember I got punched because of that. It's like my neighbours heard, obviously saw getting dragged and stuff, and they called the police because he stopped at his cousin's. I don't know why, to pick up, but he stopped at his cousin's, and then that's when the police found us and stuff, and then took him away, took me away. I asked to go to this guy's house I was seeing. He was like really pissed off. Of course, then I went back to him. Like I said, the police got involved multiple times. Like, people, we would be yelling, screaming, me screaming, and people would call the police. I'd get taken home, and then I'd come back. I didn't press charges, so there was nothing there's nothing they could do. They can't physically do anything because I didn't press charges. Like I mentioned before, he started to go on harder drugs, which I noticed that's when he was really aggressive. And I was like supplying him with the money just to shut him up, because he would get aggressive and stuff like that. It was just so stupid. Why? The amount of money I spent, could have saved it. I remember he went out one time and he was with these girls, and he'd be like, oh, she's like family. Bull. That's all I'm saying. And I fell for it. Twice he said that. Twice he said, oh, she's like family, blah, blah, blah. They weren't. And then I remember I went back one time, and he said he was ill. That's why he didn't see me and I couldn't come round. So then I went there and I said, oh, can I go to the toilet? I went upstairs and I saw that his shoes were there and a girl's bag and shoes were there. That's when I found out he first slept with someone else, because I went for his phone. They said they didn't. And then I went for his phone, and his friend was like, oh, what's it like to finally sleep with someone else? Like, fuming. Obviously I got hit because of that, because I'm sleeping for his phone. It just got so ridiculous. Like, I would find hair. Listen to myself, okay? I listen to myself and I'm like, I'd find girls' hairs. And he would see someone. I remember the one time I was so upset. So upset. He said I could see him on New Year's Eve, and I got all ready and everything, and then he said, oh, sorry, no. And it turns out that's when he like, I made it official with some other girl and stuff, and I was just crying that whole, oh my god. Yeah, I was like crying that whole New Year's, and my poor family and stuff. By this, just started like later on, like it's been a few years now, I lost the fight in me, kind of. Like, it wasn't just that abuse, there's other abuse as well in a different department of forcing, where I'm not going to talk about that because that's a bit extreme for YouTube. In the end, I lost my fight, and I was just like, I remember one time I was just sitting there watching the telly. He was just yelling abuse, and he was just like pushing my head and stuff like this, and I was just laying there because I just lost the fight. Like, people would get annoyed at me. Yeah, obviously they would see their friend going through this. I remember I lost a friend. She just said, Jazz, I can't watch you go through this. I can't. So I lost her. I'm friends with her now, but I can totally understand where she was coming from, because I just kept going back. I remember when I was seeing one guy and I would flinch. The reaction, obviously, but I would flinch every time he would just like, say if he was just getting off of the thing and I'd flinch, and he'd be like, he would get frustrated, and I didn't mean to, it's just an instant reaction. Yeah, I remember times like he would like abuse me and like threaten me with like a knife or throw stuff at me, and I'm just sitting there like curled up just protecting myself. So yeah, that went on for a while, and I stopped caring. I just shut down, basically. I was able to shut down myself from it all, and he would try different tactics. Like I said, he would take the tablets, or say he was, or he would start cutting. As you know, I'm not anymore, but I was a self-abuser, and I was during that time as well, and he would as well. but I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. He would do it in front of me. Like, he would, I remember one time he was sitting in my room and he literally like was just cutting his legs, and I just watched him do it. Just watched. Then I gave him a tissue to clean up the blood because I just didn't care anymore. I just couldn't be bothered with it, basically. Like, it would just be so muggy, and I would mug myself off as well because I would message these girls and they're like, mate, of course they don't care. How it ended, I felt bad because I could tell things were different between us. Things had changed. He was trying to change, and I could see that in him, but I didn't care anymore. And I found someone else who I'm with now, and I wanted to be with him, but I had to cut this person off because it couldn't go on anymore. And I remember, because I still had his Facebook password, I was telling him I don't want to be with you anymore, I'm done. And I would just ignore him, and I was like, it's done. And I felt bad, but I remember I stooped to his level one last time. He messaged this person and they kept calling me a psycho, and I hated it. Loads of the girls did. Loads of his girls I would see would call me crazy and call me a psycho. And I guess I must have looked it, but I got so annoyed. I got so angry because I wasn't. It was what he was doing. And it's like no one understood, and I would show proof, but no one... I don't. And I stooped to his level one more time, and there was a message that he had sent me. It was an abusive one. And I put it on Facebook, and I was like, and you call me crazy. And I tagged him in it. And yeah, pushed him over the edge. He turned up to my house, angry and abusive. We all told him to go, just told him to leave. Eventually, obviously, my neighbours, there was a big scene, and my neighbours had seen, and they called the police. And this is the first time I said, yeah, I don't want it anymore. I did it. I showed them the text messages. They said, if you get any more, just save them, don't reply back. And I did. I showed them all the messages. But he got like arrested. He admitted he couldn't deny the messages. They were there. He admitted to it all. He got a restraining order, like on me. I got a restraining order on him. Yeah, and that's how it ended. If I hadn't met Joe, I have no idea how long that would have lasted. We were both stupid because we didn't want each other, but we didn't want anyone else to have each other. And it, like I said, it was just a toxic relationship that just went on for way too long. We both had opportunities to leave, but we chose not to. We just like tormenting each other. We knew how to push each other's buttons, and that's what we were doing. You might find it hard to believe, but I wouldn't say we're friends. I've spoken to him since. I've seen him since. He seems like a changed guy. I hope so. That's all I can hope, is that he learned from our relationship. He's apologised. Multiple times he's apologised. And I forgive him. The one thing I don't forgive him for is my confidence. I completely lost my confidence. I never go out anymore because I don't know, anxiety goes straight up, and flashbacks and stuff like that. And I just feel so stupid. I was ruining my current relationship because of it, because I was still acting the same. And I was acting crazy. I've changed now. It's slowly changing. But I mean, the best thing that happened out of that relationship is I met some great people who I'm still friends with now. I'm really glad that I'm still friends with them and stuff. But yeah, I just really hope that he's just learned from our relationship, and I do feel so sorry for him. He's someone that really wants to change, and I could see that. He's someone that really wants to do good. But he just has the worst luck. The worst luck. And I just really wish him the best. And you probably think I'm crazy, like, why would you want to wish someone who's done all of that to you? There's no point in hating. There's no point me holding a grudge on him. And I truly believe, and this is why it's my favourite saying from this experience, is sometimes a woman's role in a man's life is to make him a better man for another woman. And I just pray that this relationship, that I was the one who kind of had to make him change his ways and be better for someone else. And that's how I see it. So yeah, that was my experience from my abusive relationship. Just listen to the signs. That's all I can say to someone. It's just listen to the signs. I had them straight away, and I could have saved myself a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. I know when you're in that situation, like, I didn't want help. I didn't. That's why I kept going back. I would listen to everyone, but because I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to listen. I went back even though I knew it was wrong. Of course I knew it was wrong. I didn't want to leave. And that's the problem. And if someone you know is going through it, it's easier from the outside. But when you're in it, it's completely different. You don't want to leave. People can see everything. People can see what you're going through, but you just don't do anything. You don't want to do anything. And if there's anyone out there that is currently going through it, I'm here if you want to speak to someone who's been through it, who knows how hard it is to get out, how hard it is you don't want to, because you think you care for this person. You probably do, you do care for them, but it's not right for you. There is better people out there, there's better relationships, even though you might think, oh, this person's the one. There are better ones out there. Yeah, that's my end of my story. I promise I've got happier ones, but this is what you wanted to hear, and wanted to hear my experience. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've been through anything, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Bye.